What's happening, FlowChat Connector? Sean back at you here with another high-ticket tune-up. In this tune-up, we are going to talk about how to control the direction of your prospects' thoughts using NLP. That's neuro-linguistic programming. Hang tight. What's happening, FlowChat Connector? I hope you're doing good. Kapow! It's Tuesday. We're kicking butt today, and we're going to dive into some NLP. We're going to continue this series with neuro-linguistic programming. Today, we're talking about how to change your prospects' directions of thought. This is really, really powerful thing. When I learned this technique, it completely allowed me to take full control of almost every single conversation that I had in any high ticket sale environment. And I'm going to share it with you. The question that actually was created came from April, and April asked this. She said, Sean, I get stuck when prospects talk about off-topic things. How do I keep control of this conversation more easily? And the secret is one technique. It's actually called the Redefine, and it's an NLP technique that I learned, I don't know, probably 8 years ago. And here's how it works. So I'm just going to bump that question off the screen. I think you've seen that question now. Again, April just asked, she's been having a lot of conversations with prospects, and she gets going down these pathways of things that are off topic, and she wanted to know how to regain control of the conversation in high ticket sales and move in a good direction. So with that said, let's dive into a big screen share. There we go. Here is how to change your prospects' directions of thoughts. Now, we're going to use a technique called the Redefine. This is changing the direction of a prospect's thoughts. This NLP pattern is used to move the conversation from one topic to another. Well, Sean, what do you mean by that? Well, here's a couple of examples of when you could possibly use this thing called the Redefine. Well, if you're arguing about a point that won't get you the sale, let's say, for example, somebody's talking about the delivery time zone of when you know you can hit it, and they're being so particular about it. They're like, if you can't get it to me on the 12th and you get it to me on the 13th, I'm not giving you the agreement. I'm not giving you the business, right? This is a perfect time for you to step in and use this technique. Another one, if you ever get thrown an objection that you don't know how to handle, this technique will help you solve it. Okay. So again, if somebody throws some objection at you that you're just like, oh my God, I have no idea how to do that. What do I do? Use this technique, the Redefine. I'm about to share it with you. Next, issues that aren't relevant to the sale. Again, this one falls right into the bucket of what April was talking about. She said, hey, I get into these conversations with prospects all the time. And when I do, they take me into these rabbit holes of conversation, and you know, her personality plays a little bit into that. And when she gets connected with a personality like hers, they're going to just chitter chatter all day long, which, I mean, it's fine for great for bonding and connecting, but it's really not good for getting traction in a sales conversation. So the Redefine is going to answer this one. Or just getting out of a stale conversation, right? Sometimes, and I use this in high ticket sales, but I also use this in my personal life. Like if I'm in a conversation where I feel there's sideways energy, I use that term a lot, sideways energy. It's just energy that's not thought driven, provoked, talking about like experience, events, ideas, those kinds of things. When we get into talking about people and talking about like even small events or things like that, like I don't really like those types of conversations simply because it's sideways energy. It's not giving progression. It's just a little bit of bonding, which is fine. But if you get into a stale conversation in a sales conversation, like that means we need to use the Redefine. So here is the rule. Here's how the redirecting Redefine piece works. Here is the pattern. Okay. Very simple. The issue isn't X, it's Y. And that means, okay, so when you use this technique, again, you have to have that conviction. You have to have that tonality that I just had and I shared with you. Hey, look, the issue isn't you want to sound like a trusted advisor, an expert. Hey, the issue isn't this. It's actually this. And that means this, right? And when you go down this path, you can use this technique anywhere at all times. Okay, so here's an actual example that I wanted to throw with you, and I'll just leave you with this one because this is pretty simple. So the issue isn't X and it's Y, and that means, oh, sorry, I just want to give you another definition. So X is the thing you're currently talking about, and Y is the thing you want to talk about. So it isn't what you're currently talking about, it's why what you want to talk about, and that means, right? So here's an example. So the issue isn't about whether our program works or not, Bob. It's actually about whether or not you're actually hungry and ambitious to grow your business. And that means I need to know how dedicated you are. So how dedicated are you to growing your business? See what I've done? I've completely switched that whole conversation from whether or not our program even works to, hey, I don't even know if you're hungry committed yet. And that becomes a way more powerful conversation from a sales perspective, because now I can dig into his world. What do you mean I'm not ambitious? And maybe he'll come back and challenge me. Well, yeah, of course I'm ambitious and hungry to grow my business. That's why I'm talking to you. Well, then clearly you're here to see if my solution is the right fit. And we've discussed this for the last 45 minutes. I know I can solve your problem. What's stopping you from moving forward right now? And then just be quiet. And you'd be like, oh, nothing. Here's my credit card. And boom, you've just closed the deal. So again, when you need to get out of a situation, if we go back to that slide real quick here, if you're in any of these places here where you're arguing about a point that won't get you the sale, if you're trying to handle an objection, you don't know the objection, how to do that, if the issues aren't relevant to the sale that you're making, or if you're just trying to get out of a stale conversation, this technique, the redefine, so powerful. And again, the issue is in X, it's Y, and that means what? X is the thing you're talking about, Y is the thing you want to talk about, and here's the example. Hey, the issue isn't about whether our program works or not, it's about whether or not you're actually hungry and ambitious to grow your business. How dedicated are you to doing that? Now, I didn't actually use the exact formula here. If you look, the issue isn't about whether our solution works. It's about whether or not you're hungry. And that means I don't know if you're hungry to grow your business, right? So I just phrased it this way. You can phrase it however you want, but that's the technique. This is how it works. This is how I use it. And guess what? You just been tuned up. I know there's a FlowChat connector inside of each and every one of you. I need to get the word out to more people that are in this profession that need to get better at selling. So please, please smash that like button, feed the algorithm gods. And if this is your first video, welcome to the channel. Please hit the subscribe button so I can shower you with these little tips each and every day so that you can become a master sales pro, especially in the high ticket arena. With that said, I love your face and I can't wait to see you next time.